It is time for the KBOI Medical Moment, brought to you every Tuesday by Regence Blue Shield of Idaho, featuring Dr. Kenny Bramwell, the Executive Medical Director for Regence. Dr. Bramwell, good morning.
Morning, Chris. Paul J., how are you guys?
We're excellent. Kenny, a recent court case involved talcum powder. Tell us about it.
Yeah, the plaintiff was an investment banker in New Jersey. He claimed that he developed pleural mesothelioma, which is a tumor of the tissue lining the lungs, from his 30-plus years' use of talcum powder.
Did the jury agree with that?
Somewhat surprisingly, the jury did, and awarded this man and his wife $37 million.
So, is there a connection between talcum powder and cancer?
You know, the scientific jury is still out on the issue. If there is an association, it's really very weak. The alleged link is that talc is sometimes mined close to asbestos, such that there could have been some contamination of the talcum powder by asbestos, which is a known carcinogen. However, since the 1970s, this possible cross-contamination has been carefully monitored and presumably avoided.
Dr. Bramwell, the Surgeon General does not very often issue a public health advisory, but he did that just this past Thursday. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's quite an interesting development. It's been 13 years since the Surgeon General or any of the Surgeons General have issued an advisory, and they did just this last week. It's related to our current opioid epidemic, which claims 115 lives each day. We're losing somebody about every 12 and a half minutes to an opioid overdose. In fact, more Americans under 50 die from opioids than any other cause, including car accidents and heart disease.
Well, what does the Surgeon General advise us to do here?
So the advisory is that Americans start to consider carrying life-saving and easy-to-use naloxone, which is sold under the brand name of Narcan. It's essentially an opioid reversal agent, and that we should know when to use this and how to use this medication.
Do you expect that administering this drug will become part of CPR classes, where we learn how to dispense naloxone along with how to perform chest compressions?
Sure, that's a good question. I think the Surgeon General is taking a pretty practical stance here. I don't think that it will be part of a CPR class, but I do think that people who either themselves or their family members are at risk, those are the people who probably should pay most attention to this advisory.
Well, Dr. Bramwell, we thank you for your time this morning.
Thanks, guys. Have a good day.
Thanks, Kenny. KBOI News Time, 8:26.
Don't forget, the KBOI Medical Moment is brought to you by Regence Blue Shield of Idaho, featuring Dr. Kenny Bramwell, the Executive Medical Director for Regence.